always. It's always an honor for me to be here with all of you. So yeah, while we're waiting for Julia, I can go ahead and just ask which supplement you like the best, and then I can just show you some of the health benefits that are contained in some of the formulations. So if anybody has a particular product you'd like me to talk about, I'd be happy to do that.
Mary, I'd like to ask about GRW Grow. I know we don't normally see it as working in our bodies, but how would we know that it is actually protecting us if it is the #1 immune booster? So that it has been mentioned. If you can maybe just share some insights about Grow and how can we see that it does actually work and boost our immune system? Because we are recommending it for our children, and it's kids that are still on bottle. We are giving it to them with their feeds. So if you can just maybe elaborate on Grow and how it actually does protect us with our immune system.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Thank
first
you.
of all, it takes a little bit of knowledge, which is what I'm here for, to understand how the body works and how it processes our foods, how it breaks things down to the micro components, which are, down to the DNA. If we're taking in plant foods, our DNA actually reads the DNA of plants. And so that is the first thing we need to understand about how the body works. So at the very, micro cell level, at the molecular level, submolecular level, the atomic level, the energetic frequency level where molecules are vibrating quick, very, very fast. That's how our bodies utilize and transfer energy from one form to another. So in the field of physics, it's known that that energy never does stop. It never ceases to exist. So it's always transforming from one form to another. So that's how our bodies utilize foods and produce the energy that we need. The energy not just to move our bodies, at the macro level, but also at the micro level to fuel all of the trillions of cells that our cells do to keep us alive, and to protect us from foreign invasions, to continue replicating our cells. Our cell turnover rate is, depending on the body system, anywhere from a day or two to 90 days, depending on how complex the system is. But this is always going on, underneath the surface that we aren't even aware of. We get hungry, we get tired, we sleep, we get up, we do our daily lives, right? So when you're taking in a viable nutrient like what's in the drops, because of the technology, because of how the plants are processed, first of all, from the ground up, nourishing the soil, providing the basic nutrients that plants take up and produce their own metabolisms, their own protective mechanisms, which are the plant fluids, the carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats that are so good for us. So all that is going on. And most supplement companies will not preserve that light energy frequency, the vibration of the molecules of the plants. Once they process them under heat conditions, or radiate them, then the enzymes and the light energy frequencies diminish. So they're not nearly as potent as, say, raw whole foods. And what's so unique about the APL drops is that they preserve that light energy frequency. In fact, they add to the atomic orbitals, at the submolecular level, the negatively charged particles. Like when you go out after a thunderstorm, the air seems so energetic. It smells great. Those are the negatively charged ions in the air. So that's what happens at the atomic level to these plant materials that are put in these giant vats at the factory. And so they're bombarded with these electrical storm simulations, adding more electrons. And so not only that, but they also preserve the enzymes. And without enzymes can't happen. So we need raw foods, and our bodies produce enzymes. We've got body enzymes and food enzymes. And in this case, supplement enzymes. This is the only product that I know of in the world that preserves that aspect of our food. So when someone takes it in, it doesn't matter what age you are. You can be, an infant just starting to eat solids, or even younger if you want to dissolve a little bit in water and just give them like a little bit, of that dissolved substance in the water. So, but as you're your digestive system develops, you're able to take on more complex nutrients. So, you know, anywhere from 2, 3 on up to 99 or beyond, you know, anyone can handle these nutrients because they're so very, very compatible to our bodies. So I hope that answers that question, but, you know, you have to understand what's going on inside.
Yes, thank you so much, Mary. It does help me because a lot of people that I have recommended grow to always ask, how do we know that it's working? And with my testimony alone, I've been taking it now for over 18 months and I haven't been sick. My son-in-law had COVID in the house and I was taking it. There was no sign of COVID on myself. I've never experienced having a flu or any of that, even with the change of season. So I only can stipulate that it is from grow and it's helped me. And as we get older, our bodies do need more supplements, I would think, you know, just to keep us going and have the energy we need. So yes, you have answered my question. I think there are other leaders in the group already. If there are any more questions and if you want to know more about the products, now's your time. Mary does an excellent job with it. She's written a book, as everybody is known. Mary, you will give us that book again, even the link to where we can buy it if people want to buy them. So please,
Absolutely.
guys, if you are concerned about our lozenges and how they work, now's your time to ask your questions. Mary's here to ease any of your concerns. So the floor is open, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm looking at the GRW right now, and I'm looking at all of the ingredients, and I can just pick out a couple of things that will give you an idea of what happens when you take this amazing drop. There's, you know, of course, there's so many of the different formulations, and some of the plants are also present in some of the other formulations. And so what happens is you don't have really a redundancy, you know, as much as how they work in synergy with other plants. So you're combining all of these wonderful plant biochemicals that keep the plant vibrant and alive and healthy, and therefore keep our bodies alive and healthy. So when we take them in, then we're actually providing our bodies with this huge array of all of these nutrient factors that go to work in our bodies. So sometimes if I go over some of the ingredients, it triggers some questions. Unless someone has a question now, I can answer it now.
I think maybe just go ahead, Mary. We might have some shy leaders in the group.
That's okay. That's perfectly okay. I understand. Yeah, it can be intimidating, and please don't be intimidated by me. I mean, I'm just a salt of the earth kind of person. I don't, you know, I don't have a big ego or anything, and my heart is in the right place. I love humanity, and I love working with people from all over the world, you know, and yeah, I mean, we should just have a casual conversation, introduce ourselves, right, kind of thing, because yeah, you don't have to worry about that, and don't worry about feeling, you know, stupid or anything either. There's never a stupid question, never. And so, you know, I've been in the college environment both as a student for many, many decades, and also on the other side, being the instructor and having the most compassion, you know, for people who are afraid to raise their hand and ask. But chances are, if you have a question, chances are you are asking the question for everyone else. And not only that, it's, you know, how it triggers me into giving you more information than I wouldn't have thought of otherwise. So again, if you have any questions, just go ahead and type it in the chat, and then I guess Mina or who did you say else was hosting?
It was Julia. I'm not sure if she's on yet. I haven't seen her come through yet.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you said Sanello. I thought I heard Sanello.
No, Lesejo's opened up the floor for us. Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
I think Lesejo also wants to know, could you please unpack BRN and its impact on stroke candidates?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll switch over to BRN. Absolutely. I know we have new products coming up that I haven't produced scientific monographs for, but I know that some of the ingredients are a crossover with what's in some of the other formulations, so it wouldn't take me long to put together a similar monograph for the new products coming up. So let me go ahead and go back to the.
Okay, but we'll probably only get it hopefully within this next 6 to 18 months. We're not sure, but if you can highlight them and the importance of the ingredients and what it does to our bodies, that would be amazing.
Okay, sure. So let's start with the BRN. And that has an awful lot of ingredients in it, that and the MLS and the BTY. And so, yeah, I mean, the most, well, I wouldn't say the most important, but the one that the products, excuse me, the botanicals that were chosen for the BRN are known to nourish the nervous system, to calm it down, not sedate it, but to make it function properly. Our bodies react to stress as much as our psychology, our emotions, and what we perceive reacts to stress. So when we are in a stressful situation, whether it's biological or psych, then our bodies react with producing all these stress cascade effect of inflammatory reactions, and that causes either pain or or injuries, that kind of thing, and the immune system suffers. So a person would get more ill more often, with colds or flu or whatever. Maintaining our immune system, the integrity of our genetic code, our DNA, is the single most important thing we need to pay attention to. And that means nourishing the body, providing the body with a huge array of different types of foods in the right form, raw enzyme active foods, or in this case, enzyme active, light energy frequency active supplements, which is very, very unique. But anyhow, in the BRN, we've got the apple, which is a very common food, right? And it's got so many health properties that actually nourish the blood vessels and regulate the blood cholesterol in the system, and also digestion. It soothes the digestive tract to allow things to move through smoothly. And it has a lot of phytochemical compounds that will destroy a lot of illness-causing microorganisms, especially in the colon area where anaerobic or bad illness-causing bacteria can multiply, re-enter the bloodstream and cause someone to be very sick or be in an inflammatory condition. So the apple, the common apple, is so good for us. There's so many reasons. The fiber itself is, like I said, helps regulate cholesterol and improve the blood volume and the blood quality. And the ashwagandha root, oh my gosh, this has been around for thousands of years too. All of these foods have been around. It's been used in Indian medicine and Ayurvedic medicine dating back to 6000 BC, and it's been, our ancients really knew how to document and pass on knowledge, from generation to generation. And so the healers back then, they understood what these plants did. So in modern times, scientists, just decided way back, maybe 60, 70 years ago, decided, well, let's either disprove or prove these ancients right. And there's been so much scientific research on every botanical. I'm so surprised when I did the research for this book that there's plenty of scientific research, very credible peer-reviewed studies that confirm what the ancients already knew. And then when you apply it in real life to yourself or to someone then if they get the same reactions or the same results, I should say, then for sure, you're pretty sure, that this is why a person's health has been improving. So if you're feeling better after taking the drops, it's because you're providing your body with the exact right nourishment that your body needs down at the cellular level where everything happens. Diseases are determined at the cell level as much as health vibrancy. So anyway, back to the BRN. Sorry, I go off on these tangents. So the ashwagandha root is one of my very favorites. I've known about it for decades, and I've seen what it can do. So it's supposed to increase the resistance to all these different infections, all the different illness-causing bacteria, various types of viruses, fungi infections, including yeast infections, or like parasitic infestations in the body. So all of this has been alleviated through the use of this particular plant. And then it's also because of its phytosterol content, which is these phytosterols is a huge classification of biochemical compounds in plants, and they're found in a lot of different plants. And they are the precursors to all the 10,000 hormones that the body produces, not just the reproductive hormones, but also the other hormones that start and stop and work with the nervous system and the immune system to regulate everything that goes on in the body. So hormones are extremely important. So when you maintain your hormonal system through the right nutrients, like the phytosterols in this plant, then your body will know how to make the other hormones. Of course, it's been known to help the libido, and reproductive system. And it just stabilizes a lot of the body's processes. It just brings your body back into balance. So sometimes the biochemistry gets out of balance when there's too many stress hormones, or the nervous system the neurons are firing out of panic, trying to bring the body back to homeostasis for whatever number of reasons the body gets out of balance. So this has a lot of the phytochemical compounds that will help bring that system back into balance. And that's I'm just skimming the tip of the iceberg, and this is just one of the ingredients in the BRN. So I hope you're getting an idea of just how complex these botanicals are at the cell level and how they communicate with our own DNA. Have any questions so far?
Okay, I'm going to have a look in the chat. At what age can you start giving BRN for children? That's from Pat.
Yeah, when I saw the ingredient coffee, I was concerned, but when I did the research on coffee, I found out that APL uses the green coffee bean, and that is, it hasn't had a chance to fully develop yet, so it's not as strong, including the caffeine that's in it. So caffeine contains catecholamines, and epinephrine and norepinephrine, and this is something the hypothalamus gland and the nervous system can utilize to bring us to become more alert, kind of thing. So I'd be kind of cautious, even though they're the green coffee bean, in giving a very young child, this formulation. I would wait until they're a little older, like adolescent age and older. And if the child is well nourished, then that's even better, because when you consume a healthy diet, you're getting more B complex, which also nourishes the nervous system and helps it function normally or properly. And so your child is not overreactive to stress either, when they have a diet full of the vitamins and minerals that are present in so many, especially organic foods. And also, of course, you can't eliminate the other nutritional components in the diet of quality proteins and quality fats, whole food fats, no fried foods. That's just really disastrous in the system for a lot of reasons that I can go into if you'd like me to. I just produced a video about that too on my YouTube channel. So if you type in Mary Esther Gilbert on YouTube, you'll see that video that I just produced. But also whole food carbohydrate. So it has to be a balance in the diet. If a child accidentally, starts putting the BRN in their mouth, just don't worry about it. Just make sure the child is well nourished, and if you observe that the child suddenly gets very, very hyperactive, then you have to look at other factors too. It could be the child had too much sugar. It's not eating, the person's not eating a well-balanced diet. There's so many factors that come into play that might affect, this, but it's a perfectly safe product. Like I said, it's the green coffee bean, and it's not as strong as the fully matured coffee bean.
Thank you, Mary. There aren't any more questions. I think you can go ahead and just speak about the new lozenges that we're hoping to get very soon in South Africa, which is Air, Happy, and Perfect.
Okay, yeah. I've got the website up, and I'm going to look at that product. So which one would you like me to look at?
I think everybody's curious with Happy, and I know Perfect. I'm very curious about that as well.
Okay, so let me click on that one. It says coming soon. I don't know if it'll give us a lot of details. If you've looked at the website already, you might, yeah, I just see ingredients here. So let me take a look at it. It's got ashwagandha in it, the one we were just talking about, and chamomile. Chamomile is present in a couple of our formulations. It's very good for calming the nervous system down if you're under stress and just relaxing the body without really sedating you, unless you're tired. And of course, the chamomile will let you sleep, that much sooner. But it's used for infant colic, and
Mary, is that one for happy or perfect? Yeah, perfect.
It's for happy. I thought you said
Thank
happy.
you.
Sorry.
Thank
Is that
you.
the right one?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Sure. So chamomile it's great for the nervous system, and also soothes the stomach lining to help in digestion. And it has a lot of different compounds that actually destroy, bacteria and viruses and funguses and parasites kind of thing. It's a very gentle kind of plant, very mild kind of plant. And the turmeric, of course, it's very famous for its anti-inflammatory properties. And in smaller amounts, if you're taking like a turmeric supplement and you're taking it every day, then it's going to overload the liver. And it's not really toxic, but have to give your body time to process it and help your body let it do what it does for the body. But if you take in too much of any one thing, really, it will overwhelm the body. But as far as it being in our drops, we've got the DNA of that plant. And so that's the genetic instructions that our DNA reads and splices whatever it needs from the sequences of genetic codes in the turmeric and splices it back into the segments that our body determines and, deciphers that it needs that particular segment. So our bodies are always, our DNA is always splicing and utilizing, splicing into and repairing damaged DNA in our bodies. So turmeric is one of actually all plants will do that if once we start taking them right. So the turmeric is also known to, also, okay, so if it is good for the nervous system, then it's going to be good for the brain. I can go ahead and do a search on the turmeric. I mean, I can go into my monographs and read you, just like 20 different health benefits in detail at the scientific level, like I just did for the ashwagandha. The turmeric is one of the best superfoods out there. Ginkgo biloba is also studied extensively. It's known for nourishing the brain and the nervous system, and it actually helps the part of the brain that helps memory and cognition, and interpretations of your world around you, and how you react to stress and that kind of thing. Gosh, I'm just really skimming I'm trying to hold back on going off on these tangents because I know these formulations have so much to offer. But so let's just go to the passion flower. The passion flower is also known to relax the nervous system and to put you in a better mood. So it affects the hormonal system. And so, none of these are drugs. They're just nourishing the body so that it functions properly. And that's what's so great about the plant kingdom. Then we've got licorice. It's great for stimulating the immune system, and it's got so many different antioxidants in it. And all of these plants do. They have a different type of a huge array of classification of compounds that will soothe the body and help your body eliminate a lot of these illness-causing invasive kinds of organisms. And a lot of these plants also are able to bind at the molecular level to any synthetics that we are taking in or get exposed to in the environment, or in many consumer products that have synthetic chemicals in them that our bodies tend to retain in the fatty tissues of the brain and the cerebral spinal fluid, and also in underneath the skin where fat is stored, or even in the organs like the liver stores a lot of the fats also. So it helps just cleanse and detoxify and gently take that through. And then licorice, like I said, it has a lot. I think I already said that. Okay, so ginger is very similar to turmeric. They're in the same plant family, but ginger has a completely different taste also because of the different biochemical compounds in it. It's also a great anti-inflammatory. It's also it helps with nausea. A lot of things cause nausea, but if it's invasive microorganisms, then it'll destroy the microorganisms. Or if you ingest something that you can't digest very well, then ginger has the the compounds that help break down those foods so that you don't have to feel, nauseous while your body's trying to digest it. So nausea is one of the reasons why we can't digest foods, or excuse me, we can't digest foods because of how we feel, and how the body's not producing the right stomach acids and that kind of thing. So ginger really helps with that. And then we've got the APLGO phytum. It's a horrible name, isn't it? Devil's claw. Yikes. But so it's got different names. It's been named differently. But it's a great root. It's a fantastic food. It's very good for reducing inflammation and to help the body eliminate toxins. And then we've got the hemp seeds. Anytime you have a seed, you're actually eating the DNA of the plant. And so you're getting a lot of essential amino acids and high quality proteins, and of course the B vitamins and a lot of the minerals that's in the ground, where these plants are grown. The omega-3 and the omega-6 fatty acids are very, very important for health. We have to eat them in the right ratio. Concentrate on omega-3 fats more than omega-6s. Some foods have both of them. And so you want to eat a food that is higher in omega-3s. If you eat too many omega-6s, then your blood vessels will your cells will tend to rupture more easily. So eating plant foods is very important to make sure you're refrigerating your foods. And I used to always refrigerate the drops, because I live in a very hot climate, and the crystalline coating that is the sugar will dissolve in heat. And so it'll be this big mush, when you try to eat your drops. So I always kept mine in the refrigerator. And the same reason for any kind of seeds, any kind of whole food fats. So the hemp seeds are no exception. They have those important fatty acids that are so important for as a precursor for hormones and for the structure of your cells. So our tiny trillions of cells have a structure to them, and it's composed of cholesterol, proteins, and fatty acids. So we need those foods to be replenished every day so that our cells, the integrity of our structure of our cells will be pliable and flexible and not prone to breakage and damage. So if someone bruises easily, they're eating the wrong types of fats. They're not eating enough of the omega-3s, and also animal fats are very, very important because they contain cholesterol. Cholesterol has been given a bad rap because the margarine industry and the shortening industries try to sell their plasticized fats to the public, and they sold the public on the idea that they were better than animal-derived fats. So ever since then, there's been a competition in the industries, and so please stay away from those trans fats. They cause the hardening of the arteries, and they are the cause of so many blockages and circulatory obstructions in the body. They create inflammation. The body can't break them down. They're just completely the wrong types of fats. They're like plastics. So anyway, the cholesterol foods from the animal fats and the plant fatty acids from the nuts and seeds in the plant kingdom are extremely important for that. Some fruits also contain these essential fatty acids also. So then we go on to the banana. It's a natural antacid. It'll soothe the stomach lining. And also it has a lot of biochemical compounds that improve the hormonal system, especially ones that your brain generates that govern our moods. So you can put yourself in a happier, more relaxed mood if you eat a banana, or if you break that banana down and your body uses the DNA from that banana, which is already in the drops, and provide the segments of DNA that the body might be needing at the moment. And then we have the pear. It's one of those delicious fruits that's always so mouthwatering and always so sweet, but it's regarded as a medicinal plant, in some of these other cultures. And so, it's got the pectin like the apple does, and it soothes the digestive tract. It helps regulate cholesterol, and it helps the structure of the cells also. And then we have sea buckthorn, which is one of those super berries, one of the superfoods. So it's got all these phytochemical compounds that help the blood flow properly, help eliminate a lot of the toxins, and delivers oxygen, right down to the capillaries under the skin, and just helps bind to toxic chemicals to remove them out of the body. So this is the formulation of the HPY, the happy.
Thank you, Mary. That's very informative. We look forward to having them in South Africa. There is a question from Lesejo. Could you please also unpack power apricot and lemon, as well as Norm, as it's one of the top sellers in South Africa?
Oh, yes, yes. So the power formulas are a little bit misunderstood because people think, oh, the power lemon is only for men or the power apricot is only for women. But if you look at the ingredients, they have a lot of the similar botanicals in them. So whether you're female or male, you've got a set of hormones that determine your gender. And so when you take in different types of fats and all these phytochemicals, plant sterols that we've already talked about today, your body will recognize these as the precursors to whatever hormones your body needs to manufacture and utilize and distribute. And so I've had some women, just go ahead and take both, because when you want to balance your hormones, you don't want to be estrogen dominant, you don't want to be testosterone dominant, and that's true for both men and women. Of course, women have more estrogen or female hormones than men do, and vice versa. So let's take a look at the power apricot really quickly. So I'm just skimming over the ingredients. The apricot has the essential fatty acids that the body does need to manufacture the right hormones. Then we've got the ashwagandha root. We know what that does. Asparagus root, that's a very good liver cleanser and detoxifier. The damiana leaf, that one just is known to improve the endocrine system's functioning. So it goes into the glands and does any with the essential fatty acids, and like I said, the plant sterols and all of that will be read and interpreted by our DNA so that our glands can produce the female hormones that we need. It does the same thing for males. In fact, historically, it's been prepared as a drink, as an aphrodisiac, so it will affect in a positive way the reproductive system for both males and females. It's been known to increase libido because it has those precursors to those hormones. It's also been very beneficial for the nervous system. So if you're under a lot of stress and you're feeling down, your hormones are not producing the mood elevating hormones, then this has been known to help alleviate some of that. Also, if you're under severe mental and physical fatigue, if you're under a lot of stress, or if you've had much physical labor and you haven't had a chance to rest and recuperate from it, then this will help restore the body a lot sooner. So, in urinary disorders, this has been used for a lot of different things. And then we've got the ginger root, again, anti-inflammatory, very great for reducing inflammation, any kind of inflammation, which it includes the stress hormones and stress proteins. Proteins react to damage in the body. There's good proteins and there's bad proteins. Not really bad. They just let the body know something is wrong in the form of pain or some kind of disorder. So in the system. So that's important to make sure you're getting the kinds of plants that will help alleviate that as well, bring you back to balance. And then the ginkgo leaf, that's fantastic for the nervous system, for the brain, and the regulating the hormones. It's got all these precursors that the body utilizes to do all of the above. So yeah, that's pretty much the power apricot. So let's go to the power, go back to the top here. Power lemon. So as you can see, it's got just about all of the same except for two things: the fig, and also actually three things: the ginseng, the Asian Panax ginseng. There's two different types of ginseng, a Siberian ginseng and the Panax ginseng, and they're actually two different plants. They're very similar in some ways, but then they have different effects on the body. So lemon also is in there, and then the pomegranate seed is also in there. So it's a bit different after all, isn't it? So it has just a couple of things actually in common. But yeah, the ashwagandha root, for the males, the males are going to, in their hormonal system, will recognize these precursors and generate the hormones that they need as well. And then of course the damiana leaf has the same effect also. And then we can go to the fig. And that's such a delicious fruit. You know, so it'll have a positive impact on the cardiovascular system and help regulate the body's water regulation to help bring the body back to normal as far as if you have high blood sugar, high blood pressure or low blood pressure. And so with these compounds in the body, it helps it bring it back to its normal functioning as far as how it regulates water. So you don't want to have retention of too much water in the interstitial or between the cells tissues, because that will create edema, you know, and not allow your body to utilize that water, but just store it improperly, unhealthfully. It also helps maintain the veins, the blood vessels, the integrity of those structures. So we've got the cells that maintain the flexibility and the strength and pliability of our blood vessels. They have to be like that, because if they get rigid or, you know, dried out, or they form the plaques inside, then they're going to be prone to rupturing, you know, which can lead to strokes or heart failure, that kind of thing. So figs also contain good to help the body regulate the clotting. So the clotting factors that the body responds to when blood vessels are damaged, or when you have like a cut or any kind of injury where it causes bleeding, then the body's immune system will go to work and close that injury up and form a clot there. And so the other systems are always monitoring this kind of injury to make sure that the tissues underneath where the clot has formed to stop the bleeding is going to repair itself properly. And so then it dissolves that clot as soon as possible. And so there are other factors in place to prevent that from breaking loose unnaturally, or, you know, obstructing any other part of the circulatory system. But when you have excessive amounts of damage in the blood vessels, because they're rigid and they're not flexible, there's going to be a lot of damage, you know, and so that kind of overwhelms the system. And also, if you're eating the wrong types of fats and you have plaques forming and you're exposed to toxic chemicals, synthetics that also form the plaques in the blood vessels, then that's going to be a different matter, you know, and so that's going to be another form of obstruction that will lead to, you know, the other the heart disease and the strokes. So anyway, the fig contains all these wonderful compounds that help the body not only reduce the blood clotting, but also make sure that nothing sticks to the inside of your blood vessels. So I mean, yeah, it's much more complicated than that. And if you buy the book, you'll see all of the different scientific research studies that I inserted in the book. So the back of the book contains many pages, like I would say at least 200 pages of scientific research studies that substantiate everything that's asserted in the book and everything that I'm talking about today. Of course, we walk a fine line between, you know, following the FDA guidelines and not pretending like we're medical doctors and prescribing or treating or anything like that. That's a whole nother industry. But the nutritional industry understands that at the cell level, when we provide the body with what it's made out of, you know, all these different plant compounds are so similar to our own molecular structures in our body and our own body fluids. We are so compatible with plants that way that we actually utilize their DNA and their other plant cell components to repair our own. So yeah, the fig is wonderful for, you know, helping in that restoration process and helping protect about that. All right, so then let's see, we've got the ginger root. We know about that. It's anti-inflammatory. And so let's go to the Panax ginseng. I love the ginsengs because there's literally thousands of research studies, you know, on these two ginsengs. But this particular one, the Panax ginseng, it's known for improving the immune system and improving the mental and physical performance. You know, the body can take on physical loads without increasing the body's need for more oxygen consumption. So if you're performing physical labor, if you're walking up a hill, or if you're lifting, you know, if you're doing weight training exercises, or doing rowing, you know, something very strenuous and physical, then the ginseng has been shown to help your muscles continue on longer without needing to take deep breaths and being out of breath and trying very hard to get enough oxygen to move your muscles, right, to do the work. So this is what's been found about the ginseng. So it's very restorative, immunomodulatory. It helps the blood vessels and in their dilation, their proper dilation, anti-inflammatory. So, and all of these plants have been shown both in the laboratory and on human and animal subjects, how they go to work on the immune system, and they work on their own outside of the immune system to actually destroy cancer cells. And again, I'm not saying that these plants, or certainly not the drops, can cure cancer. That's the wrong perspective. We need to understand that our immune system goes to work, our hormonal system goes to work, and it utilizes these plant cells in its own innate ability to identify, cells that are malforming, that can potentially turn into tumors or cancers, to nip that in the bud before it gets to that point. So that's what's great about the plant kingdom. And that's been shown for years in thousands of studies, that they do have these anti-tumoral, anti-cancer effects on the immune system, for the immune system. I just wanted to make sure that's clear. Please don't go out there and say, well, this will cure cancer. Mary Esther said this on the Zoom call. No, I did not say that. Please do not do that. Otherwise, we'll all be shut down. The company will be shut down so quickly, at least here in the United States. So yeah, we have to protect ourselves, and we have to protect our company. So anyway, that's just touching, again, skimming the surface of what these plants can do. And the book that I wrote it for you. I wrote it for the associates, so that you could be confident in teaching others, your clients. And if you're a medical person, your patients, educate people, and just really inform them as to what these do. And people are going to line up, and they're going to want these drops, but also specify they need the healthy diet. That's got to be there too. These are wonderful drops, but they don't do everything, right? The body needs other forms of nutrients, other molecular structures, not just in the form of the drops. All right, so lemon, are we doing okay? Am I talking too much here?
No, you're doing perfectly fine. We've also got one more question about HRT. So once you're done with Power Lemon, please elaborate more about HRT. I know there's a lot of people using HRT currently. And yeah, if you can talk about HRT and the benefits of it, that would also be great. And again, once again, ladies and gentlemen, please, as Mary has said, we are not here to cure any diseases. These are supplements that we are taking to enhance our bodies to a healthier future. So please remember that. Thank you. Over to you, Mary.
Very good, Mina. Thank you. So, okay, so lemon, I have to read you this out of my book. It's fantastic. And this is, again, very, very scientific peer-reviewed studies that I pulled for the book, not just one isolated study. I stayed away from those because the peer-reviewed studies, when the expert panelists, they gather all the studies that have ever been done on any particular botanical or any other subject, they will take the most credible, the most well-executed research that's been performed on these different things. So let me just read you this one part about the lemon. So it's been shown to prevent high cholesterol levels, and that, and also to help reduce the narrowing and hardening of the arteries from atherosclerosis, which means hardening of the arteries, and or any artery abnormalities that can impair blood and oxygen to the heart, such as the formation of clots, or angina or chest pain, stroke or mini strokes as a result of blood vessel ruptures that form obstructive clots and prevent oxygen and blood flow to the heart, brain, or other areas of the body. And that's just what we talked about. There it is, right in the science there. So you'll see the citations. There's the name of the scientist and his team or her team of researchers, and the year, and then at the back of the book you look up that same name and you'll see the link that goes to that scientific study. So there's really no argument, I'm just the information provider. I'm just giving you the information that's out there, and I consolidated all of it for you here in this book. Okay, so and of course the lemons have the classification compounds called flavonoids, huge classification of different kinds of phytochemicals that build strong and flexible blood vessels, so that you're not prone to bruising or internal injury from the blood vessel structures. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that because I'm just going to do one more, the last one here, the pomegranate seed. That's very important in this formulation. So, it's got all these wonderful unsaturated fatty acids, the omega-3s, the omega-6s that will be good for all your cell structures in your entire body. But it's also been known to historically enhance male power. And so I thought, okay, that's what the ancients have said. They discovered this about that, and not just for men, but for women too. It helps improve the blood quality, hemoglobin levels, the part of the blood that delivers oxygen to the entire body. So it reduces the risk of anemia, the scientists have found. And then, for centuries, it's been known for its anti-inflammatory, preventing excess blood sugar in the blood, and regulating. If you have diarrhea, then it'll destroy the invasive microorganisms that will bring you back to normal, colon formation of the stools properly formed. And then the intestinal parasites like dysentery, malaria, other infections, then it's been known to destroy those types of parasites, and also been known to reduce dental plaque. So I guess they should put those compounds in toothpaste, right? I don't know if they actually do, but that would be pretty good. So then, it's got all these different phytochemicals that's known to inhibit all these different bacteria, like the Listeria family of illness-causing bacteria, the Staphylococcus, the Escherichia or E. coli, the Yersinia, Salmonella, all these semi-familiar bacteriums when people get food poisoning or any kind of blood infections. So the pomegranate has compounds that'll eliminate or destroy either their ability to replicate or just completely disassemble their own DNA and just render them useless and let the body eliminate them, kind of thing. So the pomegranate is also great for the immune system. So all in all, I think that both formulations are stellar, are great to take, right? You balance your hormones for sure, and you have all the different factors to improve your immune system and your stamina and your energy kind of thing, and reducing inflammation. They're a wonderful pair, really are.
So Mary, sorry, would you recommend that a woman should use it, or are they just subjected to use them? The power lemon.
It's not. Absolutely, I would recommend both of them. They have different properties in these different plants that, it's not going to turn one gender into the other by any means. They're not drugs, they're nutrients. They're all the precursors for, and your body gets to choose what kinds of hormones it'll make out of those precursors. So all these compounds are perfectly fine.
Yeah, from what I've heard you say, it's a huge benefit for every one of us to use them. So I've been only using power apricot, and now from what you have just informed us, I think I'm going to start also using power lemon because of what you've just said. I think, we just have this perception that power apricot is for women only and power lemon is for men. But now that you've unpacked it so eloquently, I think it would be useful for us to use because it also helps the blood circulation. And I think as we get older, we need that definitely, to enhance our energy as well, to get the oxygen into our bloodstream. Really, really informative. Thank you so much. I've learned so much. There was just one more lozenge we were talking about or need more information on, and that's HRT. So if you could just unpack what remarkable properties they have, as well as how it can improve our bodies, that would be amazing.
Oh, I'd love to. This is one of my favorite formulations. I just did a video. I'm producing videos on this book. I'm actually taking 10 of the 109 botanicals in the book and producing a video and really going into this kind of detail for people, so they really understand why this book is so invaluable for not just associates, but for anyone, who wants to know more about the plant kingdom and how they benefit the body. So yeah, hawthorn is what I did. If you go to my YouTube channel and look at the video on hawthorn, then you'll see how I unpacked that also. But I'll go over it here for everyone too. So let's start with the hawthorn, even though I put everything in alphabetical order. The grapeseed is first on the list, but I want to jump to hawthorn just to show you why it's been known for any kind of heart cellular malfunctions. I have to throw that word cellular in there just to keep it in the nutritional arena for us. So hawthorn, it's been known about for centuries. You know, it's been used in cases of various conditions of the heart, the weak heart muscle, amyocardia, and also, you know, preventing myocardial infarction, which is the commonly known as a heart attack. You know, it's all about the structure of the blood vessels and the obstructions that are in the blood system that causes these things. And so, you know, if you take in a high enzyme diet, lots of raw foods, light of fresh active phytochemical compounds and enzymes, those are so important for breaking down any kind of abnormal obstruction in the blood system. So, you know, I mean, the blood circulates in every single part of our bodies, even in the bones. I mean, everything has blood circulatory system going through it, whether they're large blood vessels or tiny capillaries. You know, we've got thousands of miles of capillaries in our body, so they go everywhere. You know, there you can't get injured without bleeding, you know, kind of thing. So so yeah, the benefits of the hawthorn have been known to really nourish the cellular structure of the heart muscle and to prevent a lot of these obstructions that lead to these issues. Also, it's been tested on angioneurosis, and this is known as relating to the disease of the autonomic nervous system, the nervous system that acts automatically for us without us having to think. You know, it will digest our food kind of thing and create the hormones that we need to function and create the enzymes and the enzyme actions that occur in the body. We don't have to think about it. It just happens in our body automatically. So this is the autonomic nervous system that directs all those systems, and also been shown to help with what's called hypertonicity. So it's relating to the arterial or muscular tension. So your blood vessels also have muscles, little muscles that contract and relax to push the blood through all of the circulatory system. And so that one will help the tonicity of the blood vessels to do that. And also it's been helpful for hyperthyroidism or overactive thyroid. So too much thyroid hormone in the body, that's a reaction to an extreme shortage of the right type of minerals like iodine and other augmenting minerals that act to improve the amount of hormones that's produced by the thyroid. So it has to do with the calcium levels in the blood, and also has to do with the amount of iodine or lack of in the blood. So I would just have a good multiple vitamin, organic enzyme active, you know, vitamin mineral supplement in addition to the drops kind of thing. And so that should provide your body with enough of the nutrient factors to regulate that. A lot of things can clog the glandular system, as well as the lymph nodes, the lymph system. Sometimes you have swollen glands because of the obstructions that we've already talked about, all those reasons, you know, to obstruct any kind of the circulatory systems in the body. So hawthorn is extremely useful, as you can see, and all of this has been shown in many, many studies over many, many years. So yeah, I mean, I can go on and do more, but yeah, I explain all this in great detail in that video. In fact, I read the whole thing, the whole monograph to people on it, just to give you an idea of the extensive amounts of research that I did for this. And yeah, I want humankind to be healthful. You know, I want them to be knowledgeable. How can we take care of our bodies if we don't understand how it works? You know, so then, okay, like the grapeseed is so important for its fatty acids and its blood cholesterol lowering effect. It helps reduce the low density lipoproteins, or what people perceive as the bad LDLs. They have their place in the system, but when you have more LDLs than high density lipoproteins or high HDLs, then that's going to be a problem with how your body handles cholesterol. So it helps regulate how your body handles this very important cholesterol. Our bodies produce cholesterol if we don't eat animal fats or animal derived foods. So it's important for every single cell structure in our bodies. And they're also precursors for so many different hormones as well. So we want flexible blood vessels. We want to balance our hormones. And so we don't want to absolutely keep cholesterol out of our diets at all. You know, fatty foods have twice as many calorie or energy value than the carbohydrates or proteins. So you want to keep them in the right ratios in our diets too. No more than 30% of the diet should be in the form of fats, you know, and the rest of it should be mostly plant raw enzyme active plant foods, and proteins, animal derived proteins, of course, and the carbohydrates, the whole, like not the nuts and seeds, the whole grains would be 100% whole grains, and the beans and legumes, those are all starchy, long chains of carbohydrates and sustained energy types of foods. And of course, the fruits have the glucose and the fructose in the fruit. So that's another very fast acting kind of sugar that your body breaks down readily for fueling the cells, fueling the muscles, and fueling the brain. Anyway, that's a little tangent, sorry. But the and grapes are a great source of carbohydrate, too. But we've got the DNA of these plants, so our DNA reads that DNA and utilizes that for all these reasons that we're outlining here. All right, so yeah, it's a great free radical fighter. So in other words, any synthetic chemical, any invasive microorganism, they like to steal the electrons from our healthy cells, and so that renders our cells damaged. And the immune system has to go in and either get the hormone system and protein systems to repair, or if it's beyond repair, then it breaks it all the way down and helps us eliminate that. So it's important to make sure that you're getting enough of these antioxidant foods to prevent that kind of invasion and that kind of destruction in the body. So, everybody knows that grapes and they have resveratrol, which is a very great antioxidant phytochemical compounds. It helps normalize the hormonal levels in the body, and like I said, strengthen the walls of the blood vessels and the capillaries, just improving the circulatory system, not just the blood system, but also the lymph vessels. That's another circulatory system in the body that produces some of the immune cells. So it'll improve liver function too, making sure that the liver does not store a lot of toxins or becomes too fatty and burdened, so that therefore it helps prevent obesity. So it helps your body utilize fats in the right way rather than automatically store them as body fat or in the organs like the liver. And that's just skimming the top, just a little bit about what these botanicals can do. And we've got the pomegranate, and the raspberry, and the strawberries. All the berries contain all these different wonderful cleansing compounds in the body to help the body eliminate a lot of these toxic chemicals that tend to accumulate in the body. And then we've got the white mistletoe. So this is the last one we're going to be going over for this one. But the white mistletoe, we hear about the red mistletoe, which is toxic, but the white mistletoe is completely different. It may be named that way because it might look similar, but the pictures that I saw didn't really look similar to the red mistletoe, so it's in a different classification of plants. So don't be afraid of it, It has a lot of great antioxidant compounds, and you might know some of these if you've looked at different supplements over the years, the triterpenes, the saponins, alkaloids, all these different organic acids, histamines, rhamnetin, quercetin, the ursolic acid, the choline, the gamma aminobutyric acids. These are all organic acids that our bodies can utilize readily, to destroy any free radical. And then it also has been shown in many scientific studies that it's good for eliminating convulsions, any kind of nervous system overreaction, any kind of tension or pressure that's created across the cell membrane when waters move through it, like in the osmosis process. There's different ways our cells absorb water, So one of the ways is osmosis. So, it's a pulling action and pushing out action that occurs in and out of our cells, like the ebb and flow of the tide kind of thing that goes through our cell membranes and helps our body eliminate toxins by moving the toxins out through the cell membrane and into the eliminative systems also. So yeah, you can get really technical with some of these plants. So let's see, it'll allow the blood vessels to relax, while your C-reactive protein molecules, when they detect any kind of inflammation, they can help lower that response and just eliminate the problem in the first place, because this response is very important for our health. It lets the body know something is wrong. But if a plant cell can repair the actions of our cells and of our systems, then that reaction is not going to be there anymore, And that's why when my clients have gone back to their doctors after a very important, nutritional protocol, the doctors will test them again and see the laboratory results and just really be perplexed. You know, whatever you're doing, keep doing. Your values and your laboratory values look much better. You're back to normal now. And sometimes they even take them off their own meds. Never take yourself off a medication on your own. That can be dangerous. But you know, work with your medical provider and show them, you know, that you tell them what you're doing to help improve. They need to be informed also. Okay, so all these different immune system breakdowns that don't check and see that a cell is replicating abnormally, that the DNA has been damaged, so therefore it's forming a cancerous type of cell. And so those grow like crazy. But a lot of these plant compounds will help the immune system recognize what's not supposed to be there and help the body eliminate them right then and there. So it'll literally take a bite out of these cells, that abnormal cells, and just disassemble it, you know, and just zero into the DNA and disassemble the DNA and render it completely, you know, not dangerous at all. So your immune system will eliminate that, all those little particles that, you know, it determines it doesn't need, so it's just going to eliminate them. So that's how plants work on these abnormally functioning or abnormally forming cells in the body. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this formulation. I hope that satisfies you as far as knowing that your blood vessels are in good hands and your heart muscles are going to be contracting properly with no obstructions in the body. Hawthorne is very famous for that.
Absolutely. That was very, very insightful. Kenzie says a lot of insights. Thank you so much for that. Would you say, just one more question from me, would you say that somebody with thyroid problems should use HRT? I know you mentioned it.
Well, I mean, every one of these botanicals, as you've seen so far, will go in and restore the proper functioning at the DNA level of any cell in any system in the body. And the thyroid, like I said earlier, I found that according to the scientific research that's very abundant in this area, will offset the balance of your calcium, how your body uses calcium. Your calcium is used for the nervous system functioning, for contraction of the muscles, other minerals too, not just calcium, but also how your body stores minerals in the bones, or how whether it will cause inflammation in the kidneys or not. You know, so depending on your food source of your calcium, and also your supplements, some supplements will only aggravate the situation and cause actually calcium stones, kidney stones. So you want a whole food complex from your foods to get your calcium from, because everything is in place in a whole food to help you absorb that very nutrient, you know. So seafood and you know, a lot of these plants that are grown in mineral rich soils, the organics, the regenerative soils, the farming methods, the permaculture farming methods, where they form entire ecosystems like a food forest kind of thing. They have the richest amounts of minerals in those soils. So you can get a good amount of your calcium and other minerals that help utilize calcium from these foods, you know, kind of thing. So the plant materials in the drops are grown in nutrient-rich soil. So those elements are in there. So yeah, I mean, if your calcium is out of balance, then your thyroid is not going to function properly. And so your body can make the mistake of just infusing the bloodstream with so much calcium, trying to regulate itself. And that can form kidney stones. I've seen that so many times. When the thyroid goes malfunctioning, then you're going to possibly form kidney stones. And that I just have seen that correlation, and I've seen how the science also, you know, has determined that. But yeah, regulating your thyroid, it's just a matter of eating enough vitamins and minerals in your diet. Whole food, organic foods are the best, and eliminating a lot of the toxins that clog up the systems and affect the hormones and what is being created, the types of hormones that are being generated. So the synthetics really affect that also. So, you know, you've got to put it all together to do everything that so the body can function normally. The mineral iodine, also people make the mistake of just going out and buying iodine tablets. And again, isolated nutrients don't work very well. They have to work in synergy with other essential vitamins and minerals in the diet. And all of these plant chemicals, you know, they have this huge array in the plant kingdom of all these different wonderful biochemicals that the body can utilize these molecules and pick and choose and repurpose, either break down or continue building other things that it needs in the body, other tissues, other hormones, other proteins, all these wonderful multiple trillions of biochemicals the body needs every day to function healthfully and to prevent the disease process. So the thyroid is just one of the many glands that is affected in many cases. So we have to look at what you're eating and get a good multiple mineral, multiple vitamin organic supplement that's enzyme active. If so, a lot of supplement companies don't pay attention to the enzymes. They don't retain the enzyme factors in their plant materials, in their supplements, but you can be sure that the drops do.
Yeah, that's also scary what's out there. So I just want to say thank you so much to Mary again. Thank you everyone for also joining us this evening. I hope it was very insightful for everyone. I've definitely learned so much more.
It's my pleasure
Mary,
to be
thank
here.
you so much. I know it's probably early morning for you. It's evening here, but thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you again in the near future. All the best for this year. And yes, thank you very much, everyone. Good night.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Always here to help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
It's not so early.
Well, enjoy then the rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a good night,
Mary.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You're
Mary.
very welcome.
Thanks, Mina.
Thanks, Lucejo.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, Mom
Bye,
Kenzie.
You're welcome.
And good morning, Mary.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone, and good night.
Thanks, Mary. Bye.